Hello everyone, welcome back to AeroHub and welcome to a series of lectures in aerospace structures. In the last lecture we discussed about plates and we discussed about the classification of plate and we discussed the application of plates in airframe sections, and in this lecture we will estimate the value of critical stress at which the plate will be undergoing buckling. Okay, so the heading is buckling of isotropic flat plate under compression or critical stress estimation of a thin plate. You can see in the figure we have a plate of thickness small letter t and we have the dimensions here. B is the smaller dimension when comparing to the length A, and plate is defined as a structure in which the thickness is very small when comparing to the lateral dimensions. Okay, now what I will do is I will subject this particular plate with a compressive load, and I am applying a compressive load here, and you can see that I am applying a compressive load and this two ends are simply supported, and I am applying load on other two sides and these two sides are simply supported. Okay, and I am applying a compressive load of capital P, and P is equal to sigma. Sigma is the stress into the cross-sectional area, that is B into T. I am applying the load on the shorter side, that's why the cross-sectional area is B into the thickness T. Okay, when the thin plate is subjected to a compressive load, and you can imagine that this will take a shape of a sine curve. Okay, you can see here this particular plate is compressed and this is the pattern at which this plate is undergoing the deformation, and at a particular after a particular load this will deform further, and that is called a critical load, and we have to find out the critical load as well as the critical stress. And here you can see we have this plate and we have the load as sigma load is equal to sigma times the cross-sectional area. Sigma is the stress and B into thickness, that is the product of B, the smaller side, into thickness gives the cross-sectional area, and the moment of inertia I is given by B T cube by 12. This is the moment of inertia of this plate. Now, to derive the equations for critical stress, I need the equation of equilibrium and deflection curve of the thin plate. And this is the equation of equilibrium for a thin plate, and this is derived from Kirchhoff's classical plate theory. Okay, so we are not going to derive this equation. I am directly writing this equilibrium equation. This is the equation of equilibrium for a thin plate. Okay, this is the equation for equilibrium. I put as equation number 1. Then we have E is the Young's modulus, I is the moment of inertia, mu is the Poisson's ratio, and omega is the equation for deflection curve. So I will write, and P is the applied compressive load. So omega is equal to, this is also a constant, it's also an equation, and this is valid for any plate. Alpha sine of m pi y by A into sine of n pi x by B. Okay, here I put this equation as equation number 2. Here m is nothing but number of waves in the sense, you can see here when I am applying a compressive load, the plate will deform in the form of a sine wave. Okay, here we have two sine waves here. Okay, that is m is number of sine waves, number of waves, and n is number of modes in the sense, we know for a cantilever beam we have 3 mode shape, like that for a thin plate we have number of modes. Okay, so we will estimate the critical stress in such a way that the mode should be equal to 1. We will estimate the critical stress when the compressive load is very minimum. That is, we will estimate the value of critical stress when the value of the small letter n is equal to 1. Okay, now the term A and B are dimensions of the plate. A comma B, these are the dimensions of plate, and the ratio A by B is called the aspect ratio. It's the aspect ratio of the plate. And you have to understand the value of A is the longer side and B is the shorter side. And finally, alpha is a constant. Alpha is a constant here. Now, what we'll do is, we have the term dou power 4 omega by dou x power 4 plus dou power 4 omega by dou x square dou y square plus dou power 4 omega by dou y power 4, and we have dou power dou square omega by dou y square. Okay, that is, we are partially differentiating omega, and you have to differentiate this equation number 2 to obtain this term, second term, third term and fourth term. We have to differentiate this equation and we have to substitute the value in equation number 1. Okay. Now we will write the equation dou power 4 omega by dou x power 4 equal to alpha into, we have the equation n pi by b power 4. I am differentiating equation number 2. Okay, so I am writing the final result here. Sin m pi y by a sin n pi x by b. Equation number 3.1. Okay, similarly I have to find out dou power 4 by dou y power 4, dou power 4 by dou x square, dou y square and dou square omega by dou y square. This 4 equations we have to find out. Okay, and we have to substitute in the equation number 1. Okay, you can try out and I will be writing the final answer. You can just try out the values. The equations of omega is already given. Omega is nothing but alpha sin m pi y by a and sin n pi x by b. This is the value of omega. You have to just differentiate this equation 4 times with respect to y, here 2 times with respect to x and y, and here it will be 2 times with respect to y. Okay, just try it your own and I will be writing the answer now. Okay, so I finally written the answer for dou power omega by dou y power 4, dou power omega by dou power 4 omega by dou x square dou y square and dou square omega by dou y square. I written the answer here. This is equation number 3.1 to 3.4. Now we will substitute the value of equation 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 and 3.4 in equation number 1. And you can see that equation number 1 is nothing but EI into 1 minus mu square into dou power omega by dou x power 4 plus 2 times dou power 4 by dou power 4 omega dou x square dou y square plus dou power 4 omega by dou y power 4 is equal to minus p dou square omega by dou y square. Okay, we can see in this equation we have sine terms in one right hand side as well as left hand side. Okay, I can take this term, that is sin m pi y by a and sin n pi x by b outside, and I can cancel out from the both side. Okay, so I will be getting an equation in terms of n pi by b. I will substitute the value of dou power 4 omega by dou x power 4 as n pi by b all power 4. Similarly, I'll substitute dou power 4 omega by dou x square y square as m pi by a the whole square into n pi by b the whole square. Okay, because we can cancel out the sign terms from both left hand side and right hand side, and dou power 4 omega by dou y power 4 as m pi by a the whole power 4, and minus p into dou square omega by dou y square as minus of m pi by a the whole square. So minus and minus will be getting cancelled here. So finally I'll be getting an equation as ei 1 minus mu square n pi by b the whole power 4 plus 2 times m pi by a the whole square n pi by b the whole square plus m pi by a the whole power 4 is equal to, we have minus here, and also dou square omega by dou y square is minus alpha minus of m pi by a square, so it will be plus p, that will be p into m pi by a the whole square. So this will be equation number 4. Okay, now in equation number 4 I will substitute the value of p. P is equal to sigma into b into t, and I is equal to b t cube by 12. So I will substitute E divided by 1 minus mu square b t cube by 12 into n pi by b the whole power 4 plus 2 times m pi by a the whole square n pi by b the whole square plus m pi by a the whole power 4 equal to, p is equal to sigma, p is equal to what? P is equal to sigma b t m pi by a the whole square. Look at this is pi. Okay, so here I have a term of b and here also b, so these two will be getting cancelled, and we have a thickness term, and this will be equal to t square. Okay, now I will reduce this equation. I need the value of critical stress. Okay, after substituting the value of moment of inertia and load P as sigma times the cross sectional area, I will be getting the answer as E by 1 minus mu square b t square by 12, not b, there is no b here, it will be t square by 12 because 1 b is getting cancelled there. T square n pi by b the whole power 4 plus 2 times n pi by a the whole square plus n pi by b the whole square plus m pi by a the whole power 4 is equal to sigma into m pi by a the whole square. Now the ultimate aim is to find out the value of sigma, so I can write sigma is equal to E by 1 minus mu square t square into n pi by b the whole power 4 plus 2 times m pi by a the whole square n pi by b the whole square plus m pi by a the whole power 4 divided by, I will take this term here, it will be m pi by a the whole square. Okay, now I will divide this each term. E divided by 12 into 1 minus mu square into t square. So this will be n power 4 pi power 4 b power 4 into you have m square pi square into a square plus this will be 2 times n pi by b the whole square plus it will be m pi by a the whole square. I am dividing each term by m pi by a the whole square. So in this case here I can cancel out the pi square, so this will become pi square, and I can take pi square outside from each and every numerator, and I can take b square outside from each and every term also. So I can write this one as e by 12 into 1 minus mu square t square by b square into pi square. I am taking pi square from numerator and b square from denominator outside. So this will be n power 4 a square by b square m square. I am taking b square outside plus I have taken pi square outside and I have taken b square outside, so it will be 2n square, and in this term I have taken pi square outside and there is no b term here, so it will be m square b square by a square. Okay, so this is one of the important equation. So I can write sigma is equal to e pi square by 12 into 1 minus mu square t by b the whole square. Okay, t by b, this is pi, and this equation will be n power 4 a by mb the whole square plus 2n square plus mb by a the whole square. This is equation number 5. Okay, and you are aware that when we have that inside in this term we have the term n. Okay, so to estimate the critical stress, to estimate the critical stress, we need the value of n as 1. That is, to estimate critical stress, n should be equal to 1. So I can write sigma critical is equal to pi square into e divided by 12 into 1 minus mu square t by b the whole square multiplied by, right here, a by mb the whole square plus 2n square plus mb by a the whole square. Okay, this is the term coming when the value of n is equal to 1. So I got the value of sigma critical as pi square into e divided by 12 into 1 minus mu square into t by b the whole square is into a by mb square plus 2 plus mb by a the whole square. Okay, now this term is called the buckling coefficient k. K is equal to a by mb the whole square plus 2 plus mb by a the whole square, and this is called buckling coefficient. This is called buckling coefficient, and the value of k depends upon the loading condition. Depends upon the loading condition. So the final equation is sigma critical is equal to k pi square e divided by 12 into 1 minus mu square T by B the whole square. This is the final equation number 6, and equation number 6 gives the value of critical stress for a thin plate, and the minimum value for K, the minimum value of K is equal to 3.62. In some textbook it will be written as 4. Okay, that is when you have a simply supported edges at the two sides. That is, I am applying, this is the condition when I have a compressive load on both sides and I am simply supporting here. The value of K is 3.62. Okay, when the loading condition changes, the value of K changes, and we have an estimation of K with respect to the aspect ratio A by B. You can find that in aircraft structures by DJ Perry, and this is the main equation we are using to solve numericals, as well as in GATE examination we are using these equations. So that's all about this lecture. Thank you for listening. Take care.